Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Supreme Ruler 2020 as Vietnam. Last off, managed to finally conquer the majority of the Korean Peninsula, and just wait for the supply lines to be linked up at least with the rest of the peninsula. While at the same time, maybe build a few other things, including maybe a few other construction sites, as the southern part of the peninsula does seem to have quite a lot of resources. Waterworks, that's one thing. Agriculture, particularly food, obviously. A few farms are already here, so that's one idea. Freshwater is already shown. Petrol, not a whole lot. We have only a few derricks. Coal, actually it's far more easy to do this. I don't know why I didn't do this first. Majority of the coal is in former Northern Korea. Alright. Metal ore, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. Uranium, none. So, at any rate, another supply depot is finished. It's nice to know, all the way back in India. And that's kind of currently it, I guess. So, and nothing much. Not even new designs, not even, or anything for that matter, other than just trying to build up our own nuclear missiles when it's available. At the same time, though, certain roads and railways are not quite finished, unfortunately. So we're just gonna have to wait at that moment. But one other thing I need to do is try to reserve most of the forces. For now, we'll start off with the Navy and get them reserved at least. Now let's check the economy. Unemployment is 5.6, inflation 2.7. No, it's somewhat high. Speaking of one thing, approval rating is stable, but it's gone down a bit. GDP is of course going down as well. But I'm gonna take the risk of trying to reduce taxes a little bit in total. So there's gonna be only a slight differences. Well, with some exceptions at least. So for corporate and high income, it will be 30%. Pension taxes, I am gonna reduce that to about 1.5. Property tax, somewhat the same thing. Unemployment itself, probably 2% at least. Sales tax, this one I'm not so sure. Approval rating hasn't changed, so why don't we try to be a little generous to just reduce it to about 20.5. And sorry if you've been hearing some noises, as the current sort of a heat that's going on in California, and of course the drought, is a bit annoying. So just gotta deal with it, especially when you have certain electric fans on, or whatever equipment to try and stay cool. And of course, not to mention, make sure you have some drinkable water, well, bottled water in this case. And why are there a lot of Japanese transport planes here? I don't get it. Most of the Navy's coming, and the South Korean Army is just too big. Just way too big. Also, for that, those K2 tanks are completely replaced by T90s. So that's one thing to think about. One other thing, though, is to reserve most of these units somewhere else, as personally, I don't think it's probably a good idea to put them all in one area, so let's just reserve them the other parts of the Korean Peninsula at least. Another land fabrication is done in Harbin, up there, in the Manchu lands, I think it's gonna be. Next up are these units, but I will reserve them somewhere where I'm not so sure. Probably somewhere a little farther away. Now that area is a little bit crowded. Kunming. Let's try Kunming. Taiwan and Japan and Eastern Siberia have not done anything to declare war. Although looking at the situation, Japan's economy is somewhat improved. G debt is still high. Eastern Siberia's economy is still low. Taiwan recovering. Central Siberia bankrupt. Moscow is still around, as the other nations cannot reach its capital of, well, Moscow, or as it's in this game, Moskva, how you say it. On the other hand, conflict between southern Germany and Milan are still going, now in the 8th year of sorts of their war. What other wars are going on? Serbia surprisingly has held out. Rather impressive, actually. And somehow they do have a couple of their own allies, and more military facilities are done, which I'm not gonna bother checking anyway. But let's see. Barcelona, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, England, Finland, Greece, Kosovo, Milan, yada yada yada, and Ukraine. Well, let's see. Seems that they managed to retake some territory from Bulgaria, at least temporarily. Let's see. Rome. You're at war with Marseille and Moscow and Serbia. Marseille in question is not at war with anybody else, it seems. Although England seems to have gotten a bit of territory here for some odd reason. And for some reason the Scots are over here as well. Are they? Wait, is Scotland at war? No, they're not. So I don't see why they're on this part of Europe. Sadly, the English are not going to load up on troops on any ships, it seems. So that sucks. What else? Anybody else at war? Libya. You're at war with Morocco. Burkina Faso is still around, even though their territory shrunk, so Ghana should have been able to conquer their capital. Well, anytime. Hopefully. Angola is at war with nobody else, that's their neighbor, quote-unquote. Speaking of which, the Congo Democratic Republic, they are allies, actually. So that's one small thing. Eastern Africa is a mess, as always, after Ethiopia itself has pretty much fallen. War in South America. Need to say more about this part. In North America, California is doing rather terribly. Economy is pretty much crap. Arizona and Texas are still going strong. Mexico has managed to hold out. Good for them, I guess. Louisiana is bankrupt, so it's kind of a problem for them. A lot of other former states are also bankrupt. So let's take a look at the economy once more. Pakistan's the top, second to Indonesia. We are only a third, unless Thailand becomes third eventually. But who else is bankrupt? Western Siberia, Washington, Georgia, all the other states. I'm just going to check most of the former states in North America. Maryland, Virginia, Mississippi, Kansas, Hawaii, California, Alaska, and who else? Maine, and that's kind of it. So those are the only other states, well, nation state, I guess you can call, that are pretty much in trouble financially. Pacific, nothing new, or nothing at all. No new wars. Nothing. Cambodia has a casus belli, but I guess they could try to declare war unless they get most of the army reserved, if they dare decide to try. It'll be a miracle if they somehow conquered a large portion of the southern part of Vietnam and able to defeat the majority of the imperial armies that are spread out, but I don't know. For now, just reserve them all. Domestic approval is blah blah blah, and negative trend. It's understandable. Now let's see. What's our stock? Military production is as it is, but I'm going to keep putting it on maximum. Everything else, I'll just let the AI do whatever they want, no matter how annoying it might be, and let it go. Economy, check. Things are stabilized. Have I blocked him out? No. Social spending and taxation I'm still letting him control, with the exception of the inflation. But it's as it is. Unemployment is also as it is until most building projects will be done. Sometime in the future, at least. Still got a lot of industrial goods and only a couple of military in comparisons, after all. Uranium mines. We do have extras being built up everywhere, and more military facilities. Kosan Up is done. Same with a supply depot all the way in Bangalore. What's going on in Sri Lanka? Okay, so they have a impressive military presence. Which I'm still surprised they haven't gone a southern part of India since they were at war with India as well. Pakistan is understandable, but Sri Lanka, it still baffles me that they didn't get anything from that long war of theirs. If I wanted to, perhaps like in perhaps let's say I suppose Hearts of Iron, or even Darkest Hour, whichever, which I don't quite have yet, but I am thinking of getting eventually. If it was possible, I probably would have given Sri Lanka some territory as a bit of a reward for their war. I am sort of trying to be a bit generous in that regard, but it's just my character. But there's really nothing else to do. Most of the Korean armies in here is getting a bit too crowded, mostly. So, send them out. Next stop will be here in Quinjiang. But the armies that are on this island are a whole different story, and they're actually K1s here. Even though most of the tanks that were in the rest of the Korean Peninsula are either M4s or T90s, which is a bit surprising. Actually, I may need to check. T90s, T80s, M4s, and that's it. Alright. Okay. Japan itself has a rather large army now. Navy as well, Air Force. Probably not a surprise. So that's one thing. But as for most of the other Korean forces here, I'm just gonna wait for these units to leave, and then have everybody else here reserve. Also, those in former Manchuria, also reserve. DEFCON is low. Everything else is low. Not gonna choose that. There's really no point of it, unless I want to be a bit of an asshole and just, well, trespass into Cambodia if I want to. But I'm not gonna do that. Really no point. And we still got a few loans to repurchase eventually. But right now our treasury's gone down. Social spending. Once again, temporarily increase taxes, but also increase social spending a bit. Just close enough, or a little over, at least. At the very least. So that's one thing done. Eastern Germany, let's see, they're at war with yada yada. Poland is no surprise. Kaliningrad has once again expanded, getting close to Warsaw it seems. But I know for the fact that it's going to be short-lived. Very short-lived. Since Kaliningrad and not even Poland can fully conquer each other. Let alone Kaliningrad, since their economy is, well, probably temporarily in a bit of a financial trouble. So that's kind of one thing. But nothing for them to do, and I'm sure our position in economic terms is gone. We are now, let's see, currently 16. We are over here. So that means we may be overtaken by Iran if this keeps up. Speaking of Iran, yada yada, they're at war with Kuwait and Saudi Arabia still. That's a bit surprising. And more military facilities are done. So, in the end, we're just gonna keep building up our armies bit by bit. But I think that's enough for now. I'm just gonna have to get these units reserved immediately. Slight lag there, but just to get that done. And there's really not much any conflict that's gonna happen, other than seeing Hong Kong having a brand new navy, including their new carrier that I think I sold to them. A large number of their patrol ships all the way out here for some reason. And the Philippines itself has a lot of troops around their capital, hold on, did I even say that right? Manila. I don't know why I don't know why I'm having trouble saying that name for some reason. I don't know. Indonesia is doing well economically wise. I don't think I need you on inflation control anymore. But this is getting a bit annoying. Well, when I say by annoying, bit of a not thinking right for the moment there. I don't know why. But more military facilities near the capital Seoul are finished. And once again, I need all of these units scrapped. I really don't want infantry types, unless they're useful for defense, but that's kind of it. And sadly, our economy is still shrinking. Probably risk going by 30-ish% there. Social spending is going to be reduced a little bit. Not fully, but just enough. Probably about 11, close to near the 12,000 mark, at least. As always, the economy just seems to be a bit stingy. But we do have a lot of construction projects, so that is definitely going to be expected. I mean, right now we have a lot of farms being built. Mostly, I think they were in India, right? Let's see. Yep, most are in India, so these are gonna be built up. But it does look like I may need to build another railway line. Still, this is gonna take a while for these to be finished. So, could be the same for water and all, but it's one annoyance. And right now, these are in red. Our trades are not. Trades are not really great, especially if there's zero. Let's try and make this 12% of the domestic market. Oil. I'm just randomizing all the numbers. Sometimes it's a little too cheap at times. Keep it like that, and keep it like that. So there's nothing else to do other than just try and maintain the economy. But the inflation constantly rising is getting annoying. Which, speaking of which, blah 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 blah, may decrease GDP and all that stuff. It's to be expected, and I have no choice but to get another bond so we don't have to deal with a, well, bankruptcy. So we're gonna deal with that. And so the debt went up. Well, I have no choice. Okay, why are there Eastern Siberian submarines here. Oh, wait, never mind. Never mind, I just realized. Those were probably under their control after, well, their war with North Korea. I'm guessing. In the meantime, land fabrication, another land fabrication, and more land fabrication is done. The only thing that's not done, though, is this bridge that was destroyed during the war against Korea. Still got a couple of units here, although I do have these infantry that I don't want. So grab you two and also scrap. Who else? Infantry garrisons. Where are they? Really? One up here? Too many up here. Wait, all of these are all garrisons. Great. I got no choice. Scrap them. I'm wasting enough money. Oh, no, not you two. You engineers can just stay. With the exception of probably reserving, actually. But I may need to build a new road, but not now. At the moment. So, got all these garrisons, but am I missing any others? No. So that's kind of it, with the exception of certain units. Ships, on the other hand, I just realized that I never deployed certain... Or was that in the Japan LP? Yeah, that's probably it. It's possible that I probably forgot about troops being loaded up on a transport and just send them on their way home. I don't know. I guess we'll find that out in when I upload the Japan LP eventually. The next episode at least. Nothing to do. Treasury has gone down even further. Once again, I had to keep trying to balance this out, but the approval rating still hasn't changed, hasn't been improved at all. Now to get corporate tax as high as I possibly can. Keep these up, and probably try at least 25%. Pension taxes, property tax, unemployment, increase that a little bit. Sales tax, I'll put that probably put that as high as I can. Social spending. Probably leave it as it is. Most likely. Now it's November 9th, 2028. Eventually November 10th. So it's almost way over 8 years since the start of this LP back in 2020. Nothing new going on. No new wars. Unemployment is as it is, as always. Let's see research. Oh. Right. Efficiency. That's kind of low. But I'm not gonna bother since we're not quite in a hurry to develop nuclear warheads. Technology level, tech rating. Unfortunately, the technology level is never changing. I don't know why. No matter what I try, this never increases. Even back when the conditions here were above 100%, and that didn't do much. So I really don't know. No matter how many research centers I keep building up, over 28, well, that didn't do anything as well. So don't know about that. Next, now I just gotta get the rest of the units in former India reserved. In, well, different parts of China are a different story. The road here is finally finished, at least. But in the rest of China, former China, southern China in this case, and northern China, I got to get some units reserved. I got engineers just sitting here. Military facility, another one's up. JP is still going up. Treasury is still going down. Do I really have to do this? Do I really have to half the spending? Or at least about half? I guess I have no choice. Probably not fully half, but we'll just go with that. A lot of other units here, including these choppers that need to reserve now. I got a Japanese artillery, including a Taiwanese infantry unit and a Japanese AT unit as well. And a few ships, mostly from Taiwan and Japan, and also Eastern Siberia. Alright, that's kind of one thing. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Kaliningrad hasn't recovered economically. Poland is still standing. Moscow, I'm guessing they're not going to do anything. Most likely. In other parts of Europe, yes, Milan and southern Germany. How many times do I keep seeing that neither of them are ever going to get close to conquering each other? And the economy briefly has recovered somehow. Well, when it comes to the social spending being low, I guess that's one thing. But it's kind of annoying to see this war, as Milan's always been close to try and take, well, Munich, or is this Munich? I don't know. I really don't know, actually, 100% where this is. I'm just gonna call it Munich, but I'm pretty sure it probably isn't. I think. But I don't know. Serbia has surprisingly pushed the Bulgarians out, with Romania, or actually the Serb Republic, being here. And I think they're allies with Serbia, aren't they? Serbia, where are you? There you are. Yep, of course they're allies. But Bosnia is at war with East Germany and Moscow only, so they're allies with Serbia as well. Croatia as well. Slovenia isn't. Romania is an ally. Bulgaria, however, is pretty much the main war front, although I'm pretty surprised Serbia hasn't conquered Kosovo yet. Although it does look like they gained some territory here, so what are they doing? What are they doing? Sadly though, our relations are pretty bad. Nothing I can do about that, and Western Europe's economy is kaput. Oh. Tajikistan. Okay, that's quite a lot of... Okay, that's a certain amount of coal, but I guess I'll accept. Just for a little bit. A little bit of money, at least. Let's see. Maintain that. Maintain taxes for a bit, or I can go back to just reducing to 30% again. The UN Protectorate is still never going to do anything. I'm pretty sure it would be interesting if you play as Cuba, but you go to war with the UN Protectorate and somehow conquer its capital. But that pretty much would mean that every other part, every island that's under the UN Protectorate is under Cuba's control. So, I think I may have discussed this before in another video, I think. But that would be interesting. That really would be interesting. Oh, and yes, and the Falklands and this island are still under UK control. But anyway, It's now 2 a.m. on March 15th, 2028, and there's really nothing gonna happen. Yet. I'm not sure, but not yet. Well, I'm gonna end right here, though. I hope you enjoyed this, even though there's no conflict and Cambodia hasn't decided to declare war, but I hope you enjoyed this, and see you again in the next episode.